Aluminum premium falls 8.2%. Strengthen your cost strategy. Aluminum's 8.2% premium drop signals a need to strengthen your cost strategy and build supply resilience. Do not let your procurement team celebrate prematurely, because the recent 8.2% drop in the Midwest aluminum premium to 95 cents per pound merely reflects policy rumors rather than genuine physical supply stabilization across North American industrial markets. Forward contracts tumbled over 12% on speculation that Canadian aluminum tariffs might drop from 50% down to 25%, proving that your current pricing environment is dangerously hyperreactive to unfinalized geopolitical headlines and shifting trade policies. The underlying structural vulnerability remains severe because domestic manufacturers are 60% net import reliant, producing only 660,000 metric tons locally while importing 4.4 million tons to meet an enormous annual consumption appetite of 5.7 million tons. Relying on Canada for 56% of total foreign supply between 2021 and 2024 leaves over 3.1 million metric tons of our national intake dangerously tied to a single trading partner without adequate backup options or domestic capacity buffers. When previous geopolitical crises like the Iran conflict struck, the Midwest premium doubled while LME benchmarks peaked at $3,787.50 per ton before retreating to $3,270, illustrating the volatile dual-shock pricing structure every major buyer faces. If the proposed 4 million metric ton quota remains unfinalized beyond August 20, 2026, any volume arriving above that threshold could remain penalized at the 50% tariff rate, creating a chaotic two-tier cost structure for unprepared industrial fabricators. If you operate an enterprise consuming 100 million pounds of aluminum annually, these violent regional premium swings create an unmanaged financial exposure ranging between $90 million and $180 million that could easily wipe out operational profits. When Canadian shipments to the Netherlands surged 74.3% through August 2025 alongside higher exports to Italy and Poland, it proved that global trade diversion of just 10% to 15% can quickly trigger double-digit U.S. premium spikes. Most procurement groups make the critical mistake of hedging only the LME benchmark price around $3,270 to $3,787 per ton, completely ignoring the Midwest premium which routinely fluctuates by 20 cents to $1 per pound. This unchecked physical premium fluctuation translates to an extra $440 to $2,200 per metric ton on top of exchange prices, leaving 10% to 25% of your total delivered metal costs entirely unhedged and exposed to margin erosion. Reactionary inventory building that expands plant coverage from 30 days out to 60 or 90 days ties up $80 million to $150 million in working capital for a 50,000-ton operation, creating sudden write-down risks during sharp downturns. Traditional supply contracts containing vague commodity clauses give upstream primary smelters legal flexibility to pass down volatile tariff swings, while your downstream customer agreements remain trapped in rigid, fixed-price pricing terms that severely compress margins. L-Impact Solutions advocates dismantling your blended metal invoices into 4 discrete layers: the LME benchmark, the 40 cents to $1.20 Midwest premium, dynamic trade tariffs between 0% and 50%, and regional conversion costs averaging $200 to $600 per ton. Modeling these cost variables independently consistently reveals that 30% to 45% of your total landed cost volatility stems entirely from non-LME factors that standard treasury hedges and corporate financial risk policies leave completely unaddressed and unmonitored. Procurement leaders must establish quantified supply redundancy rules, ensuring the immediate capability to replace 20% to 30% of Canadian-sourced volume within 60 to 90 days while strictly keeping landed cost increases below an 8% variance threshold. Treasury and purchasing divisions should jointly integrate basis risk hedging tools and enforce strict deviation bands between 15 cents and 30 cents per pound, preventing unhedged physical delivery premiums from quietly eroding otherwise successful financial hedge portfolios on the exchange. Contracting frameworks must embed automatic price recalibration mechanisms because moving between 50% and 25% tariff brackets alters landed costs by 20 cents to 40 cents per pound, driving massive $20 million to $40 million annual margin shifts per 100 million pounds. Leveraging secondary recycled aluminum, which supplied 3.6 million tons or 28% of apparent U.S. demand in 2025, by increasing internal scrap ratios by just 10% strategically insulates your production lines against costly primary import tariffs and regional delivery bottlenecks. You must establish strict margin-linked governance policies with hard country concentration caps below 40% to 45%, recognizing that a sudden 25 cents per pound premium surge directly strips 150 to 300 basis points from manufacturing EBITDA margins. L-Impact Solutions emphasizes that forward-thinking executives will treat this current 8.2% premium decline as an urgent strategic reset window to overhaul procurement risk architectures before the next policy shift or geopolitical disruption violently reprices raw inputs. Is your supply chain exposed to the next premium surge? Comment your answer below. For more analyses, visit our consultancy website. Link in description below. Thank you.